Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Presley, and in this video today, I'm going to be giving you my full review for Original Sin by Jason Aaron. So let's get right into it. So Original Sin was a crossover event from Marvel Comics that ran in 2014, and it was written by Jason Aaron with the main artwork by Mike Deodato Jr. Now there's a one-shot in here and a prelude to this with different artists, but the main artist on the book was Mike Deodato Jr. And Original Sin was quite a surprise for me. Now, it deals with a murder, the Watcher, and they're trying to figure out who killed the Watcher, because the Watcher sees all, he knows all. So how did somebody manage to kill him, and what do they want with him? Why did they kill him? Well, that book answers and asks all these questions, and what did I think about it? Well, I thought Original Sin was pretty good. I will say a couple things right off the bat. I think the underlying mystery for this book does run on a little bit long. We're kind of asking the same questions throughout each of the issues here because there are 9 issues of the event, and we're kind of just continuously asking the same question here. So it did get a little bit stale towards the end because it doesn't feel like there's anything new for our characters to do except for find out what is happening to the Watcher, who killed him, and things like that. So overall, I did think it was pretty interesting, but it did get a little bit stale towards the end. Now, throughout this book, I really dug Mike Deodato Jr.'s artwork. I thought it was beautiful. It was interesting. There's a lot of great contrast in here. It's very weird, but also great looking. I'm going to put some panels on screen right now. I think this artwork suits the story well. It's very mysterious, very edgy almost, and I really love the detail work in here. I love the landscapes, and there's a lot of weird looking textures throughout this book, but I think it complements the storytelling very well. Now, for the storytelling, I think Jason Aaron does a good job of creating some snappy, great dialogue. However, the book does kind of lose itself a little bit. It eventually gets too convoluted and a little bit too chaotic for me to fully understand and appreciate the ending. The reason I'm reading this here is because after the Thor Complete Collection Volume 1, in the Complete Collection Volume 2, it contains 7 issues for the ending of the first Thor book, but then you have to read Original Sin before reading the rest of that complete collection. So my next review will be the Thor Complete Collection Volume 2. But yes, something happens in here with Thor that I really don't want to spoil, but if you know anything about Thor, you knew that eventually there was somebody else who took over the mantle of Thor for a little bit. But yes, something happens in here, and his secrets are released, and he becomes unworthy. I'm not going to spoil how or what or why, but yes, the reason you have to read Original Sin here is because the next series in Thor does involve, you know, what happens with the aftermath of this book. And yes, overall, Original Sin, I did enjoy it when I was reading it. I did like it a lot, and I especially enjoyed the artwork. However, as I went along, I found myself growing increasingly frustrated by the fact that Jason Aaron continued adding new plot twists left and right, and eventually it just got so crowded and a little bit too messy, but I still dug it overall. One thing I really enjoyed about the book, and I wish they would do it in more Marvel events, is utilizing these B-list and C-list and even D-list characters, because the main villains in this one aren't any characters you would expect at all. Like Oubliette is in here, which I don't know if anybody even knows who that is. I do, but like a lot of people who aren't diehard comics fans may not. But yes, they utilize a lot of villains in here that nobody really talks about, but then they also brought together a big cast and crew for Marvel, whether it be Doctor Strange, Punisher, Winter Soldier, Moon Knight, Spider-Man, Daredevil, Captain America, Iron Man. Like, they literally brought everybody in here, and it made for a fun event where we got to see all of our favorite heroes fighting it out, and they even are turning on each other a little bit, so there's a little inter-hero battle between one another. There's a lot of mistrust, there's a lot of anger, there's a lot of confusion going on, and I did enjoy that we were kind of uncovering the mystery at the same time the characters were. That made for a fun and interesting ride, and despite how I feel about the end of the book, I do think that overall, the antics that went on throughout here were pretty enjoyable. Now, altogether, Original Sin is by no means bad. I didn't think it was bad. I still gave it a very positive score. I gave it a 4 stars out of 5, but I do think it could have been a 5 stars out of 5, or maybe even a 4.5, because they just needed to tweak a couple things here and there, maybe take out 1 or 2 little plot twists. And I don't want to spoil who the big mastermind behind all of it is, but I did think that was a bit interesting. It was a little bit of a nice twist. There were a few too many in here that maybe didn't need him in there, but that was a good twist. Overall, if you have read Original Sin, please let me know in the comments down below with your thoughts, your opinions, and your rating. If you haven't read it, it is a fun event. I never hear anybody talking about it, and I definitely don't think it deserves any hate or any bad rep towards it, because I still think it's good. But yes, I gave it a 4 stars out of 5, and thank you so very much for watching. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more daily videos, and I'll see you later.